It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
All right, so I wanted to discuss this because I know on this channel, you know, with us being here in Vegas for Conor Benn versus Pete Dobson, amongst a lot of other things in boxing, you know, I haven't been able to really cover all the other cards that have either happened. Like last night, I know there was a card on DAZN, 2 cards on DAZN that I didn't watch yet, which there will be videos about later from Red Owl Boxing and Ashton Silve. And also, you know, Joshua Buatsi and Dan Azeez, I haven't really been talking too much about it because it's not a fight that I'm really that excited about. But one of the fighters on the undercard is someone that I'm very excited about. And I got a comment recently from somebody that was like, BT, why have you made a video about Ben Whittaker? You know Ben Whittaker. You met Ben Whittaker. You interviewed Ben Whittaker. So consider this my Ben Whittaker video because he is fighting on the undercard of Buatsi versus Azeez. He's fighting a guy with an absolutely atrocious record. His name is Khalid Gradia from France, who's 10, 13, and 5. He's been knocked out 2 times. So this dude is a straight journeyman from France. He's French. And we know Ben Whittaker ain't fought no killers yet. You know, he fought some guys with decent records. I would probably say, believe it or not, this guy he's fighting now is actually the guy with the worst record that he's fought. Like, his first guy he fought in his career was 6-6-1. Then he fought a 6-0. Then he fought a 6-3. Then a 13-6-1. Then 11-2-1. So this is actually the first guy who has such a horrible record that he's fighting. So I'll give Ben Whittaker that much. But the reason I'm talking about him, to stop waffling about, the reason I'm talking about him is because Ben Whittaker said in a couple interviews, and he's been saying all week, that basically if it came down to it, he could whoop and he could beat any of these guys fighting in the main event. So he's saying he would beat Joshua Buatsi, and he's saying that he would beat Dan Azeez. Now let's talk about that, because right now as it stands, Ben Whittaker is only 5-0. He's only got 5 fights. This fight this weekend will be pro fight number 6 in his career. But he's one of the brightest talents in British boxing. This is a guy that when I look at British fighters on the come up, and even just British fighters in general, he's a guy that I think has real star potential, a guy that could really leave his mark in the sport of boxing. He's 6'3", great reflexes, elite speed, great amateur pedigree. He was an Olympian for the UK. You know, just a guy with a lot to like. And you know, I know that he's been here in the States sparring. And so I know he's gotten world-class work. He's a guy, too, who has a good coach in his corner with Sugar Hill Stewart. And I feel like this is a guy that when you look at his skills, the way he fights, his frame, his build, this is a Kronk fighter. This is a Sugar Hill Stewart type of fighter. A tall, rangy, athletic fighter with a great straight right hand. You know, a devastating straight right hand, which is that's what most Kronk gym fighters have. They have quick, fast, straight right hands, precise straight right hands. So he's someone that I think has an unreal ceiling in the sport. And truth be told, you know, I know you don't want to get these guys beat, and I think maybe he's probably still maybe a fight or 2 away from a guy like Buatsi or Azeez. But I'll tell you this. Let me see. Let's check these rankings. Let's see if this politically even makes sense. If he could actually theoretically get this fight, if he's even ranked. Let's see. Is he ranked? So yeah, check the rankings. Ben Whittaker is not ranked in the light heavyweight division at any of the 15 sanctioning bodies right now. So let's be real. Right now, it's a little bit of clout chasing on his end. I don't think Boxer Ben Shalom are going to go ahead and make that fight for Ben Whittaker at this moment in time. But look, right now he's 130th on BoxRec as far as their rankings. So I'm thinking, you know, this win will probably get him into or close to the top 100 in the world for light heavyweights. Depending on how fast Boxer moves Ben Whittaker, I think by the end of this year, let's say if he's fighting this month, if he fights in May and then he fights like in September and they try to get him out like December again, something like that. If they can get him like 2 more fights this year, and then maybe that 3rd fight, maybe he could fight the loser of this fight, like Dan Azeez. I think Dan Azeez will probably lose. Maybe he'll fight Dan Azeez, right? And that'd be a good fight because Dan Azeez been British champion. That's a fight that I know Ben has mentioned in the past, and those are the kind of fights that he needs to really soon. Those domestic step ups, and I don't think he's that far from it. As crazy as it may sound, with him being only 5-0. You know, this is a guy that has a lot of talent. He's already a guy that I think, you know, is ready to, you know, by the end of this year, start stepping up to that top 50 level to fight those kind of guys. And, you know, one thing I like about Ben Whittaker is that whether you love him or you hate him, he gets people talking. He's a polarizing figure. And boxing needs those. Could you imagine how boring boxing would be if everyone was just like, yeah, you know, I I worked hard this camp. This camp was better than the last camp, and I trained hard, and I'm ready to put on a show. Could you imagine how boring boxing would be if every fighter was like that? It'd be horrible. So thank God there's guys like Ben Whittaker who say things like, I want to be the best British fighter that ever lived. That not just have great boxing skills and great punch power, but go in there and, they do a little showboating and entertain the crowd, and whatnot. He's fun to watch. He's just fun in general. And I know a lot of people are rooting on his downfall, praying he flops. But I'm not one of them. I love the guy. He's one of my favorite fighters in the UK. And he's from the town that I actually stayed in when I was in the UK. The one time I went there in West Brom. Big up to West Brom in the whole Black Country area. But yeah, man, that's the news. Ben Whittaker says he could whoop Buatsi and Dan Azeez, which I think are both good fights. Dan Azeez likes to come forward and is a high-volume puncher, but not like a concussive puncher. So I think if they were to fight, that would give Whittaker a chance to counterpunch, as to where with Buatsi is more of a well-rounded fighter. There'd be more dimensions and more things to work out for Ben in that fight. And I think that that'd be the tougher fight of the two. But, shout out to him. He said what he said, and he gave me a reason to talk about him, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. He should listen. That guy he's fighting, the 10 and 13 French dude. I mean, they picked that man for a reason, to make him look good, to drum up some interest, and for him to just beat the brakes off of him. So, definitely the guy with the worst record he's fought so far. And hopefully, next fight, he can start getting those step-up fights. And because he's already an 8-round fighter, when he turned pro, he didn't even do a 4. Last thing about Ben. When he turned pro, he never had a 4-round fight as a pro, which is very rare. A lot of fighters they start with the 4-rounders first. Maybe get a couple 4-rounders, then gradually step up to 6, then 8, right? So he didn't even do the 4 rounds. He had 3 6-round fights. Then now now this will be his third 8-round fight, and then maybe the next fight, God willing, could be a 10-rounder. So what that lets you know right there is that the people that run his career, his handlers, they're fast tracking him, and I don't see why at the end of this year he can't be in a fight against like the loser of the main event this week by the end of the year, Buatsi or Azeez. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about Ben Whittaker calling out Joshua Buatsi and Dan Azeez, and do you think Ben Whittaker could beat Joshua Buatsi and Dan Azeez? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.